Okay. Hello, Dr. Yehiel Harari. How are you from Israel? I'm here from Los Angeles. And today I wanted to talk about amazing subject that is very close to my heart, it's very close to a lot of people's heart, and it's actually taken from your book, Omanuta Akba'a, which was also translated into Chinese, right? Translated, which is amazing. It's really a life-changing book for parents. Changing the approach and the attitudes towards the kids, and to really understand what's important here. And wanted to kind of more elaborate on that and maybe provide some tools for parents to better parent their children, and just to really grow a generation of successful entrepreneurs, of successful independent individuals that would literally change the world, and Bezrat Hashem bring the redemption, the Geulah.
That is the name of the book. You said it in Hebrew. Maybe we should say it in English. The translation, it's The Art of Elevation. How you elevate your children, and not only elevate them, how you help them discover their inner powers in order that your children will be able to, to go out and to break their boundaries, because we have boundaries, and it's usually the emotional boundaries. But, before we'll get into parenting, I want to say something general. I did so many classes, workshops about winning every moment, and how to overcome our undesirable emotions. And a lot of time I heard, wow, it's wonderful. You are right. But it's so hard. It's so hard. So when somebody is saying during a workshop, it's so hard, I know he's not going to change. He's going to stay in his place. He is not going to do something with what he understood, with the tools he took, with the why he understood. And when you teach parenting, when you talk about with parents about their children, they don't want to leave their children even one moment with anxiety, with stress, with depression, with, closed with yourself, sealed without open. So parenting, in a way, it's the best tool for us to develop ourselves. It's like a bit of manipulation, because you talk about parenting, but really it will change us. It will work on us, and it will change our point of view on what is going on inside of us and how we can overcome undesirable emotions, because there is nothing in parenting that is not connected to you. Why? Because what do you want from the child? What you want from yourself? But you say sometimes, for myself, I'm not sure I'll be able to do that. I am already grown up, and I don't have the money, and I cannot do that. But when you teach your child, you say to yourself, okay, it's also my opportunity. So parenting is really about ourselves, not only about our children, but there is still a very major, very important role that we have in front of our children. And I think maybe we should start with that.
Yes.
What is the role of the parent?
So exactly, I kind of, like, from what I remember, I read your book maybe when it came out, I think was like a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah,
and I think one of the greatest things that I've learned was that everything we say to our children, it's either lowering them or elevating them, and we have to be really careful what we say to them, even if they do something that we don't like, like spill a smoothie all over the living room, or do something, not doing their homework, or spending too much time on the screens, or not getting ready for bed on time, or not getting ready for school on time. And we just want to, sometimes, it drives us crazy because we need to go to work. We have things to do. So it's very easy for us to stop thinking about the child, think about what we need to do and how much I need to accomplish in my life, and go to work. And then, my child is there and I'm yelling at my child, God forbid. I used to do that. Unfortunately, I apologize to my children.
I would tell you to continue if it would help, but it will never help the child to do what he needs to do or what you need him to do. When you scream, when you shout on your child, he's closing himself. He's getting backward instead of discovering his inner powers.
I know, and this is what I noticed. I noticed that the minute I stopped talking in that voice, and instead looking at my child and seeing how can I even use that opportunity to elevate them. And instead of saying, why are you not getting ready on time? Saying, I love you so much. You usually doing things fantastic. And I would love more if you would get ready faster, because that would show me how much you care and stuff like that. And then I could see the change in my child. It's just like unbelievable how that works. But I wanted to touch a point where, I wanted, to kind of talk about the fact that, for example, sometimes we have siblings. We have two sisters in my case, and we see a lot of times that, and I think it's one of the most difficult things for parents is to see their children fighting with each other. And sometimes they could be, a little bit mean, and you're afraid they're going to do something to each other, hurt each other or whatever. And you don't want to go, and you don't want to pick a side, right? You don't want to say, oh, she's right, she's not right, you're right. So I think that one of my biggest challenge now as a parent is exactly that, is that my children are growing up, and and all of a sudden they have conflicts, and they have conflicts, and and I'm like, I'm coming and I'm in the middle and I'm trying to tell them, hey guys, it's really hard because they are both very emotionally, charged, and you coming in the middle, and it's very hard to like try to elevate now and try to think now, because all you want is like to really stop it, calm down.
First, something general. It's always hard. Speaking about something is the easy thing. Doing it is the hard thing. But we are speaking about it. We are talking about it. We are uploading podcast about it in order to know what is the right thing. So in the right moment that you are about to explode, you are now very nice. But when we are about to explode because we need silence and they are making us crazy, you will know what is the right thing, what elevate them and what does not elevate them. So it's like, it's like understanding in advance what is the right way to walk. We will fall. It's like we are not in pharmacy. Everything is not so clean, but you know where to go. What is the direction? What your child needs. And you said something about it's very important what we say to the to our children. It's not only about what we are saying; it's about all of our attitude. So let's instead of pointing about tools and what to say here and what to say there, let's understand the principle. Principle is more important than tools, because when you know the principle, you will find the tools. You will be able to extract the tools out of the principles. What is the principle? You said about siblings that are fighting each other. What is this? What is the principle of parenting? The main principle of parenting is to help our child to discover his inner powers. Each one of us has his inner powers, and they are concealed. They are concealed with things that we want, external wishes that we have. They are concealed with, sometimes we have undesirable emotions, like negative emotions, like stress and anxiety. And when a child is angry about something, now it is very hard for him to discover his mind. It is very hard for him to learn. You cannot learn when your mind is like when you are blurred with anxiety or with stress or something like that.
Right.
So our main purpose is to help them to discover those inner emotions, those inner powers, the right powers. And whenever the child will listen to you, that's the main question. Why both of your childs will listen to you? Why do they say, okay, Uzi, Tati, you're right? Why? Because they know that everything that you are doing is in order to help them discover their powers, their inner traits. And it's not like you are doing things in order to have a quiet moment or you have some kind of interest. When you have an interest that separates between you and the child, when you say to them, I just want you to be quiet because you want them to be quiet, not because you have any intention to understand what is now bothering them, so they will never listen to you because they see that you are not with them really. You have an interest. And when you send them to okay, take an hour, be with your electronics, with the iPhone or whatever, and then after an hour you wake up and you said, yo, how much this electronics will kill you, will destroy your mind. All day long you are in front of garbage. An hour it's okay, and an hour and a half it's not okay. They know that there is an interest, and you are not acting in order to discover their inner traits. So when a child knows that you are acting, everything that you are doing is not in order to fulfill your own interest. And even if you are going to sleep, you're going to sleep in order to help him discover his inner traits. Why? Because you want to be a better father. You want to be a better father that has power to give to your child. You're not going to sleep for yourself. When a child knows that, he's now ready to accept from you. And why they are fighting? They're fighting. Someone fight with another because he thinks that nobody listens to him. Why a child needs to go against you, to scream, to shout, to lie? Why? Because he feels you do not listen to him. He feels that if somebody is listening to me, I don't have any need to fight. If there is justice, if I know there is justice in the sense of that everything is clear, I have no need to fight with another. I know everything will go in the right. People will listen to me. You will listen to me. My sister will listen to me. And when I feel that something is right, like I cannot make a sound. Nobody will listen. You listen, but you are not really listening to me. You are not really open to see what I have to say. Why a child that is smoking, let's say a youth that is smoking, the age of 16, need to hide his cigarettes from his parents? Because he's afraid what they will do to him. But if he wouldn't be afraid, he wouldn't need to hide the cigarette. So now, this is like a negative example. But you understand the reaction, the way the child acts. It's always if he's feeling confidence and he feels that you accept him as he is, and he wants to help him to develop himself. And it's not like you are giving him everything he wants. The opposite, you're giving everything he needs. And when he knows that, now he will accept you as a source of, or you will accept whatever you will tell him. Like he will listen to you.
Okay, so I understand the main point here is that our job as parents is to really help our children discover their own kochot, their own powers, their own strength, talents. So let's just try to put it in a practical sense, okay? Right now, my child is...
Just another sentence that means to help him win his inner battle between those voices that they have inside of him. The difference between a child that got a good education, good parenting, he has good parents, and a child that does not, is not how much he learn and if he find himself with as a professor or he makes money, or that's not the case. The case is if you gave him enough tools to win his inner battles, the battles against undesirable negative emotions that he has. And when you taught your child to overcome agony or stress or we said anxiety or anger, that's when he will have the engine to go out and to conquer the world and to make the revolution and the redemption that we talked about in the beginning.
Right. You know, I'm fortunate enough that my children are actually learning in a spiritual school, and they understand the concept of moach shalit al halev. So it happened to me a few times that my older daughter, was really finding herself in a very emotional state, and I kind of brought in that concept on her. I said, remember, moach shalit al halev. The mind should control your heart. Your common sense should control your emotions. And when I keep on telling this to her again and again and again, when she finds herself about to do something she's going to regret later, that concept kind of penetrates into her being, and she is really changing her attitude, changing her style. But for example, for parents that maybe don't have that concept, or don't understand that concept, maybe their child don't understand that concept. What would the parents do? Children are fighting, they're screaming, they're throwing stuff at each other. Parents coming in. What should the parents do?
Let's take some principles. First of all, nothing starts with one episode at home. It's not like you are getting into education and parenting. It's about a process. that it's not like you are solving one thing. And parents sometimes come to me and says, what should I say to my child in order that he will not have anxiety or will not fight with his brother? If you fight with your wife every day, you are killing one each other, screaming all day long, and now you want your child not to scream, not to fight between themselves. It's like, first of all, you have to bring. It's about the atmosphere at home. The first principle is to accept unconditionally your child. When you accept him, it's like when he finds the love that he gets, that he receives from you, without any condition. You do not love him because he got good grades, and the opposite. You do not dislike him in a way. Children are very, very sensitive. They know when like they are a bit overweight and you look at them, oh, you gain 2 kilos more, and you say nothing, you just hide all the sweets. You are eating the sweets, but you do not let them. So accepting them unconditionally is not looking about the external way they look, or what they did, or what they didn't do. Oh, you think that the children of the neighborhood are more successful. It's like really accepting them. Or when your child is, say to you, I don't want to be. It's like only when you will accept yourself unconditionally. It's the first step. Accepting myself is letting myself be, and it's more than that. It's loving myself. It's loving myself not externally, not from the perspective of I want to bring to myself things. It's like accepting the way I am and the way the Creator created me. And when you accept yourself without self-accusation and all those stuff, you will accept your child. And now, when you accept him, now there is a bridge that you can get to him. And he's feeling that you have place, you have space here. He can say something to you without you judging him, screaming on him, accepting from him. You have so many expectations. Now, so the first thing, when a parent is getting in and he's smiling and he's happy, in a bit, he's bringing, even though you had a hard day, everyone has a hard day, but before you are knocking on the door, before you're getting inside, you are stopping a minute, you say to yourself, if I'm getting inside my house with this face of struggling and bittering and hating and why this and why that, I will destroy everything. I won't elevate them. So you stop before you do that. And you know the consequences of what you are doing. And you are saying, okay, I'm getting in, smiling. And when you're smiling and you're really interested, not in the hard day that you have been through, but in your child, then they will stop. Because they want, when somebody is smiling, is like a magnet, is like, magnetude, everyone that is around. And you cannot fight when your father is smiling. Children, come to give me a hug, instead of, children, why are you all fighting? It's like, it's a different attitude. So they feel you, that you see them, and you are ready to listen to them, and you are ready to sit with them, to read with them, to see with them something, to do with them something. You are not in a hurry to go to your things, to your computer, to your Facebook or whatever. So a child needs you in order that you will feed him with the right nutrition. And the right nutrition is help him discover his inner powers. And when you'll do that, he will feel comfortable enough to go to do his own things. And when he does not feel that, he's like trying to catch your attention in different ways. So this is the first thing, accept unconditionally. And accepting unconditionally must be shown, must be felt. How? With love. Love, love is not in the air. Love is not in the air. Love should be seen. You bring something. You are getting back. So buy something small. Pay attention. He's running to you with what he did with his painting from his garden. Look at it. See it. Your student son is trying to tell you something about his test, about his exams. Hear him. Be there for them. That's the first thing. And when they feel that, it's like a magic. It's like whenever think about yourself. When you're getting to work and your client is screaming and shouting and is full of expectation, you are like, okay, what is going on? You just want to leave. And when you have someone that, oh, Uzi, I made for you something to eat and come drink with me coffee and there is a cake and let's talk. So you are there. Okay, I don't care about now the job. That's the first thing.
You gotta give attention. You gotta really be there. Be there present with your child, not
More than
scattered
intention,
everywhere.
accept them. Don't be judgmental. It's like more than that. It's accept them as they are. The second thing, the second tool, which is very important to help them, when you are speaking about fighting between siblings, it's what we are talking about. We're talking about some kind of emotion arose in the child that made him angry. If he wasn't angry, he will not fight. He is angry, or he is offended, or he's feeling that nobody gives him his place that is deserved, or there is one emotion or two or more that now controls him. And this emotion is connected to his ego, and it's like somebody stepped on his ego. And children has the most ego. Why? Because think about the baby. It's all about himself. He's thinking about himself. He's in the middle. It's all about himself. And a grown-up baby is someone that is still around himself, and it's all about himself. It's a grown baby. So think about it. Like now, the most important thing is to help him to overcome this negative emotion. When he will be able to overcome the negative emotion, he won't have any need to fight. Why? Because it will change his perspective. What you say before, Moach Shalit al Halev, the mind is govern the heart, and it helps you navigate and to a bit weaken the undesirable emotion. So what you are doing, it's like helping them not to be in the center. That's the most important thing, to help the child not to be in the center. The first thing we said, unconditional acceptance. It's more than love, even. It's like in Hebrew, it's atzmut, it's essence, to accept his essence. The second thing, which is very important, is to take him out of the center. How do you take someone out of the center? You give him a job, you give him an assignment, you help him, you say, okay, now you are in charge on something. You give him a way that is influencing, and he is influencing. It's not about him, it's about what he's doing. It's about what he's influencing. And when he's influencing, he won't, I'm now in charge on doing supper or something very important.
Putting the dishes in the dishwasher.
Yeah, but we have to be very careful, because giving them assignment and giving them responsibility and let them be in charge on something, it's not giving them jobs to do. It's not like they are helping us. It's like
to do,
now,
actually they're gonna feel proud doing
something important, proud, something that you feel, okay, now my father is really appreciating me, and now I know which way to. And when you have responsibility, you do not allow yourself, to fight for nothing, because you have responsibility. So this is the second thing. But the result is, when you took the child out of the center, you helped him what? Not to think only about himself, not to see only himself, not to help him to weaken his undesirable or his negative emotion. That's the main process. It's like when I have now, think about yourself. Now you have something, you are disturbed with something, and you have some kind of stress, but now you have responsibility to do something, and people are waiting for you. You cannot allow yourself to be in this place, because you have something to bring to the world. It's not about you. It's about what you have to do.
That's an amazing point, to actually turn them into influencers, and then that's kind of remove them from the center and distract them from this negative emotion, and they connect to a more positive influencer emotion, that they are doing something positive in the world, and also make them feel that they are important, they are capable of doing something more than just, fighting. Obviously not to give them, work at home to wash the floor, obviously, but give them something more important, like, be responsible for something that they're going to actually like. And I love that concept. So you said that was the second thing. There was a third thing, by the way?
Learn with them. To learn, what does it do? There are different kind of learning. There are the thing that you learn because you have to, and when you have to learn, it's like I'm doing it without really passion to the thing. But when I learn and I find the enthusiasm in this thing, and I find it as a treasure, I learn something. When you really learn something and you feel excitement. And that's, I think, the most important thing that a parent can do with his child, to help him. This is the main exam that each teacher has, and each teacher has at the end of the year. If your child finished the year and now he has passion to what you taught him, that's the most important thing. It doesn't matter if he learned so many things and now he's ready to throw everything to the garbage. He's now, putting everything on fire. No. If he has a passion to it, that's the thing. Doesn't matter if he learned even small thing, because it will say that he will continue to learn it. And the most important thing is to help the child to discover pleasure in the thing that he is learning. Pleasure in the thing that he is learning means that he will continue with that. And we must help them with the thing. How do we help them to find pleasure in the thing that they are learning? You want to learn with your daughter something about modesty, about herself, about life, about doesn't matter. So what you are doing when you want something to be pleasurable, you order pizza and you make it nice, and you bring something that she likes, and you sit together and you are comfortable. And what you are not doing, you are not, about being upset and putting exams and, putting stress in the process. And when the child feels the pleasure in what he is learning, what happens now is undesirable emotions that navigate him to fight with his siblings. Now they disappear, because pleasure and anger does not go together. They contradict each other. When you are in pleasure, you do not looking for a fight. So when the child is learning, and learning is a very important thing, because learning, it's the most, the mind, our mind, it's the most important thing that human being has. It's like, without using our mind in fulfilling the potential of the mind, you cannot innovate, and you cannot see things from different perspective. You are like losing the most precious thing that you have, the mind as a navigator of the art.
Amazing. Really, really, interesting tools. And I'm sure that parents that going to listen to this podcast, and even parents to be, and even single people that are going to be parents one day, to understand all these very important parenting ideas and to be able to implement them. It's not only helping your child, it's actually helping you grow. And all those concepts, when we implement them also in our life, in everything else, in our job, in our work, we can see a major improvement and major progress, because after all, we all want to influence, and we don't want to be in the center, because when we are in the center, this is when all the trouble begins. So I wanted to thank you for your time today. It's such an amazing opportunity to have you come and speak to us. And again, this is the book. It's in Hebrew now. If you speak Chinese, you can maybe find it in Chinese. But one day it will get translated to English, hopefully. Such a wonderful book. Thank you so much, Dr. Yehiel Harari.
See you next time.
See you next time.